Welcome back to The Claim Is Mine. I'm Charolina. This podcast is my accountability space where I share my wins, losses, and lessons as I grow stronger in my mind, body, and soul. The last episode, I shared the struggles that I'm still dealing with through this course of my sobriety and reforming and rechanging myself. Working on becoming the woman that God has created me to be and the dream person I envision myself. But today I wanted to share the actions that I take and how I fight those struggles. Because this battle it's a battle that I'm fighting every single day. Nobody is coming to help me. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's pushing me. Nobody's watching me. The only person watching me is God. But I am the only person that can make this happen, because nobody's gonna do it for me. So every day is a choice that I have to do, that I have to make in order to fight all those obstacles that I have, all those struggles that I continually have on a daily basis, and they're never gonna go away. It's just how I'm learning to fight through them. And I get better, I learn more about each situation, every card that I'm dealt with. So, I make a decision to show up for myself. I make a decision to grow. I make a decision to survive, and I never give up. At times it's scary to even think of how big that responsibility is. To take that much care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to show up every single day. It's hard, but nobody else is responsible for my life but me. One thing that I do that I think is one of the most important, I would say, obviously, having my relationship with God. If I didn't have my relationship with God, I wouldn't have the peace, I wouldn't have the direction. Yes, there's a sense of calmness and security and direction that He gives me. And if it wasn't for Him, I just wouldn't be where I'm at today. I didn't really have a relationship with Him as a way that I do now. I've had different thoughts about it. That's one thing that I'll share in a different episode, but I'm very grateful for that. And for a lot of people out there, you kind of need a higher power, something else that is bigger than you in order to be able to get through all these obstacles. I just think that's impossible for you to do it on your own strength. There's days that I've wanted to give up, that I've given up, and so many things happen in life that are so painful. For instance, just one of them, obviously, the death of my brother. If I didn't have God in my life, I would have lost my shit. So there's, and so many other instances. And trust me, there was a lot of times that I didn't have a relationship with God, that I was mad at Him and blamed Him for so many things. But I've learned to build a relationship with Him, and He gives me peace and understanding. And so I will definitely say that number one is for me having that relationship. And then the second one is being extremely, extremely intentional about everything that I do. I could be a little obsessed with everything, but that's the only way to become a different person and to change, to remove all those old habits to become a new person. So I'm very, very, very intentional in the way that I think, what comes in my mind, the way that I speak to myself, everything that I do, the actions that I take. I'm very detailed, and I, as I said, I'm just super intentional about it. Everything starts in the mind. What goes in, goes out. If I let a negative thought like run unchecked, it turns into, like my emotions, and then those emotions lead to bad decisions, and then that leads into, bad actions. So when a negative thought shows up, I try to catch it as soon as possible. I'm getting better at it. Before I wasn't. But as I say it all the time, I'm constantly thinking about what I'm thinking, I don't let it fester. I don't let it sit. I don't let it spiral. Sometimes I catch myself and it is spiraling. I've been thinking way too much about this, even like it could go down for 5-10 minutes. I'm like, what the heck? But at least I'm catching it. I'm more aware. Talk about this last year, I was not aware. I was just constantly going with no thought process of what was going in my mind. So if I notice myself thinking in a negative way, I consciously turn it and think of something positive. Reinforcement. I don't try to do like fake positivity either. I try to go back and find something, evidence that solidifies that what I'm thinking is not true. There's evidence from our past of things, and all we have to do is just take time to find it, So yeah, it's something that, as I said, I always talk. So just being very aware of those thoughts. And I'm also right now, even more than what I was before, the power of the tongue. Like it builds and it breaks. So I'm more aware, more intentional on how I speak to myself. I try not to put myself down. It's so easy to say, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough. It's like endless. So I'm reframing those and changing them into positive talk to myself, even to like others. So I try to do the no self-talk, and as I said, if it does come in, I try to reframe it into a positive, and just remind myself who I'm becoming, how I'm working so hard, and everything that I've been through, and how it's formed the person that I am today. I also I am constantly thinking about the future me, visualizing myself, and I try to act as that person, that woman that I'm creating myself. And I can get into details of like what I'm achieving and who I'm wanting to become, which is pretty amazing. So I try to visualize and act, because we're vibrational beings, and in order for me to get what I want, I need to act on it in order for me to get it. So we don't get the things that we want just by thinking it. We have to actually act and become that person in order for us to attract what we really want. It's hard to try to feel like a millionaire, or that you have all this success, that you're making change, when at times all you feel is lack around. But so feel and acting, that's something that I'm really working on, is the visualization and the acting of becoming, which it's tough when everything around you is opposite from what you want. But the way that you get it is pushing and fighting and fighting and pushing. I know that I slowly but surely it's coming. I see it happening around me in like little aspects, and it takes time. All this stuff does not happen overnight. It takes years to become that person, but you always have to start and take one step at a time. So I'm working on that as well. And then also my morning routine that really sets me up for my day. That's a non-negotiable. I tweak it here and there all the time. I just spoke about it, I believe, in 2 episodes of what I'm doing right now. So, but yeah, if I don't wake up and I don't do my whole routine, I am very unaligned for the remainder of my day. It's pretty wild. So and I feel so good when I do it, because I'm just hitting all these W's as soon as I open my eyes, and that just pumps me up for the day and just drives me, and I have a clear mind and I'm just driven. So sometimes, I fall into that trap. But I've been a lot better in snapping back and getting back into it, because there's times that before it would take sometimes even years and months. It would take weeks. Now it's taking me days. Sometimes it'll even, not even a full day, which is pretty remarkable. So the more I do it, the more I become more steady, and obviously it's just about creating those habits little by little. So yeah, and another thing is taking care of my body. I struggled a little bit over the summer because I ended up getting injured and I didn't work out, and I felt the toll on me physically and mentally. And I'm back on my workouts, doing minimal stuff, but I'm getting my body moving, and I just feel, so much different. Exercise has always been a part of my life. So, and it just gives me so much clarity as well, energy wise, everything, and also what I put in my body, what I eat. Super important. I eat healthy. So I take care of myself in that aspect. So I need all those things working together, and I make it a priority. I'm super intentional of hitting all those things on a daily basis. So mentally, spiritually, physically, all those things need to be aligned, mind, body, and soul. And then once those are aligned, I feel unstoppable. It's amazing. It's not easy to have all those things, but once you hit one, then you want the other one. They all fall into kind of like the same category. They help each other out. Because once you start working out, you're gonna want to eat healthy, and then once you're eating healthy and you're working out, you feel so much better. Then you want to take care of your mind. It's just all like a cycle. It's a very nice flow. And then also, when all those things are working together and I'm taking action and I'm just taking care of me, just my vibration, my energy is so high that it just gets me through anything, and everything starts attracting to you because you're so positive, because you just feel great. How could you not be in a state of like giving and receiving and loving and caring when you're doing all those right things for yourself? You're taking care of yourself in every aspect. So obviously, like, I feel very aligned, and my little antennas up, and I'm attracting all that goodness, which that's what I strive for, is just that perfection in which I am at my highest peak when it's coming to feeling, those high vibes. And that's when life really starts transforming, because you're aligned. I'm completely aligned, and that's what I'm fighting for every single day. But I'm still figuring all this out. Compared to last year and this year, it's so different. I've had to pivot. I've had to change so many things, And it's a journey. And every day I'm learning, every month I'm switching. It's pretty cool. It's the game of life, as they say. So I don't have it figured out, haven't mastered it. I don't know if you could ever master it, just because life changes so constantly. But I am incredibly grateful for where I'm at, and it just like brings tears to me, just because God in life is so good that I'm able to surpass everything that I have and have the fight and grit that I have on a daily basis. So many times I want to give up, but that's one thing that I've never done, and that I'll never do. I will never ever quit. I will always get back up. If I fall, I will definitely get back up again and keep trying my hardest. But for the decisions, it's all about the decisions. The decisions that you make can transform everything. So every day making the right decision, and those decisions turn into habits, and those habits have snowballed and turned my life into the way that it is, and it's so beautiful. And it's just as the intentionality behind everything is what is really has helped me, is just thinking through every little process, every action that I do. And if something is not bringing me closer to my purpose, to the person that I am becoming, that I'm striving to be, if it's not aligned, I don't want any part of it. If it's not getting me closer to my goals, I will refrain from it. I'll push away. If it's making a decision to do something, hanging out with somebody, like, I have to reflect and be like, okay, is this decision making me closer to my goals and the person and the woman that I want to become? And that's how I kind of base and guide and make my decisions these days. Because every single decision that you make is critical. From the past, from everything that's happened in my life to where I am, it's all based on a decision. Made so many bad decisions, it led me to a lot of things that's happened to me. But now, if I constantly making the right decision, it's going to lead me to the life that I want. So yeah, I hope that helps in regards to now the actions that I take that are helping me with the struggles that I'm dealing with as well. Through this journey of mine. So yes, very important is be intentional, relationship with God, with your higher power, and thinking about what you're thinking, watching the words that come out of your mouth, how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others. And yeah, it's about that decision. So thank you for climbing with me today. Remember that growth takes work, but it's worth it. Let's keep strengthening our mind, body, and soul. If this message inspired you, please like and subscribe.